Hi, welcome back to the Design, Creativity and Technology channel. My name's Aaron. In today's video, we're going to be drawing this vise, this little drill vise which I found on the internet via the website craftsmanspace.com. Now today's video is going to be a collaborative effort with not only myself but my good friend over in the United States is Kevin Ellingson, and his YouTube channel is Mechanical Advantage. Now take the time to check out Kevin's videos, some really good content in there. And Kevin is actually a CAD/CAM trainer over there in the United States, and he does some really good stuff. I was lucky enough to meet him at Autodesk University in Vegas, and yeah, the boys over there really took me to school. So Kevin also has a website. So what we're going to do together with Kevin and myself, I'll teach you how to draw this in CAD. Kevin's channel will take it back to his channel and he'll show you how to cam this. It will come back to my channel and we'll CNC machine this either on the Skyfire here or I'll go to work and CNC machine it on the Haas. Now any files, guys, you'll notice that on my YouTube channel, when I post this video, when you click on the video, it will be in the description section where you could obtain some files. And these are the files that I mean. So in my data panel for this Fusion Fortnightly video that I'm doing, there'll be such files such as these countersunk bolts which were downloaded from McMaster-Carr, the plans off the internet, and some of the other files, especially the handle as well, the threaded handle. Today will be drawn all in a top-down design flow, and everything will be contained in the one file. So pay attention, guys. I think you'll like it. I'll toggle the components on and off here, and you can see there's quite a few components that you'll have to draw to eventually come up to this finished component here. All right, well, without further ado, let's get started. And at the end of this, guys, when we finish making this CNC, we'll be giving this away to a lucky subscriber. Conditions of entries are you've got to be subscribed to my channel, but you also have to subscribe to Kevin's channel, and we'll try and post this anywhere around the world within reason. Okay, let's get started. Step 1 will be drawing the base. Step 2 will be drawing the fixed jaw, the front. Step 3 will be the rear jaw, sliding jaw, and then the two rails. So let's get started. We're going to open a new design. And before we start, I want to ensure that you're pretty much following me step by step. And I like to design in Z-up. You can see here I've got my Z-up. And I also like to document my units in millimeters, okay, not imperial. So what we're going to do now is click Save, and I'm going to make sure I'm saving this in my Fusion Fortnight folder. And there it is there. And we're going to title this one CNC Vise. Save it. Okay, straight off the bat here, guys, we're going to design a little bit differently to what I've usually been doing, and I need to credit Scott Moyse for showing me this tip. And I'll put a link to Scott's video down in my description file. I highly recommend you watch it. It'll be the best 40-minute session of Fusion 360 tips you'll ever see in your life. So it's certainly changed the way that I've designed now with Fusion 360. So we're going to create an assembly straight off the bat. All right, and each time I create a new assembly, I'm going to make sure that I'm creating it under this parent file here. And I'm going to name my first component base. All right. So we're going to create a new sketch, click the ground plane, R for rectangle, and I'm going to be moving rather quickly throughout this video. So if you get stuck, just remember to pause the video, rewind it, and catch up that way. Before I terminate that dimension, I'm going to type in my dimensions before I terminate that rectangle, I should say. It's going to be 85 millimeters wide. It's going to be 115 millimeters long, and enter. E for extrude, click the top face, 8 millimeters, up we go. I'm going to view onto the top view now and orientate it around to the bottom view. By using my scroll wheel, I can click and drag, and I can also zoom in and zoom out. I'm going to put some points on here now, so I select that face, expand the sketch drop-down section, click points. We're going to put 4 points on here, okay? Just random points, 2, 3, 4. And now let's lock these down with some dimensions. So D for dimension, and we're going to start just on this outside line here and coming down, and this will be 7.5. Let's apply that to the other side as well, and 7.5. Okay, so now from the bottom line to that one out, that's going to be 17.5. And from this one here, escape, D for dimension, from that point to that point will be 50. Now I'll just tidy some of these up a little bit so you can see them a bit better in the video. Pull this down here so you can see it. Okay, now you can see that this one of these points here is black. That means it's fully defined and it will not move. The other ones you can see I can move them around. So we need to fix that. So I'm going to click that point, hold my shift key, click that point, right click and go horizontal vertical. And now that's turned black. I'm going to come pick this one, shift key, click that one, horizontal vertical. I'm going to align this one as well. Horizontal vertical, and now you see I've got 3 out of the 4 are fully defined. The 4th one is still, it can still move here, but it can't move up and down. So I'm going to click this one, hold the shift key, click that one, right click, horizontal vertical, and now you can see that these constraints are applied and they will not move. We're going to use the create function here. We're going to click hole. In your hole, you want to make sure you pick multiple, okay? Come down, we want countersunk or countersink. And here we go, guys. We're going to click this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the hole depth will be the thickness of the plate, so that'll be 8 mil. The diameter here will be 6. The countersunk diameter will be 12. And just check it as you come through. It's a 90-degree countersink. And we're going to click OK. And you can see it is applied now. And I'm ready to go. Click Save, guys. Okay, so we're ready now to start on the fixed jaw, the front fixed jaw. And to do that, we need to click create a new component. Now, remember where see at the moment, it's selected the base here. I'm not going to do that. If I was doing sub-assemblies, I'd leave that. I close that, I come back up to this top level up here to CNC the actual master file. And now I'm going to name it front fixed jaw and click OK. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn off this so it doesn't, well at the moment it doesn't really matter. Click a new sketch. Sorry, click off that light bulb. Sorry, click off the base so we can see what we're doing here. All right, and we're going to do R for rectangle and come up this way here now. And this is going to be 85 millimeters long, tab by 15 mil. Tab enter, E for extrusion, click that, it's going to be 30 millimeters upright. Okay, we're going to come around now, guys, and underneath here, I want to get to the base and I want to put 2 holes in here, all right? So I'm going to click that face and it turns blue, notice that, click the face, turns blue, C for circle, and there you go, it's spun on the other way on me, but that doesn't matter, we'll just carry on here, like that. I'll rotate that for a second just so it's easier to see in landscape view. D for dimension, distance between the holes. That's going to be 50 to match the base. Okay, from this edge to that edge to the dot to the center of the hole, that's going to be 17.5. Now we need to dimension the hole. Okay, and because it's going to be a threaded hole at 6 mil metric 6 millimeters, we want a 5 mil diameter, and I'm not going to dimension this one. I'm just going to put a relationship between the two, and I'm going to choose to do that, guys. I pick that outside diameter, hold my shift key, pick that outside diameter. We want equals, and you'll see now they're both right. But there's one thing I haven't done. You'll notice these dots are in the center of the circle are still white. That means if I grab them, I can move them up and down. Okay, so let's lock this one down here. So that should be 7.5 because it's half of 15. Now, you'll see that it's fully defined, it's gone black. So I'm going to pick that center, hold my shift key, pick that one, right click, horizontal vertical, bang. Let's tidy up my dimensions. Okay, E for extrusion, I'm going to pick this hole and that hole. Going back to my home view, my ISO view, and I'm going to go negative 15. -1.5, and there we have it. Now, if I come underneath here now, you can see I've got the 2 holes, but we need to thread those, okay? So here we go. We're going to create a thread. We're going to pick that one. And notice I can't pick this one here, but if I hold my control key, I can. See that? I can't select it. Control key down. Bang, got it. We're going to make sure this is metric. Okay, as we come down, isometric profile, 6mm, M6x1, right-handed thread. Click OK. And I just want that cosmetic thread. I don't actually want it to show the actual revolved cut, thread there. Back to my home view. Now I'm going to come around to my left side now, and I'm going to start with my 2 countersunks on this one here, and you can see it here, guys. So I'm drawing this fixed jaw, and I want those countersunk portions put on there. Okay, those features, sorry. So here we go. I've selected that front face, and I'm going to use 2 points again. And I find working with points a lot easier to do and to manage with these countersunk holes. So from here, we're going to, that's going to be 10mm, put a dimension on there, D for dimension of course, click the edge and click out. From point to point now, yeah, it's going to be 65. All right. Now, if you're making this manually and, measuring it out and center punching it on the workbench, that sort of thing, this is poor designing, okay? You'd always measure from a datum and come across, but being in CAD, guys, it's that accurate. We can pick point to point here. It's not a problem. Bottom of the line to that point there, and that's going to be 8mm. All right, you can see that black dot there that's changed. Now, Lars points this out all the time in his videos, guys, that make sure you fully define your sketches, all right? So click that dot, hold the shift key, click that dot, right click, horizontal vertical, boom, they're locked down. Okay, once again, let's put 2 countersunk holes on there. So we go hole option, multiple countersunk. I'm going to pick that one and that one. Now, a few things have to change here. The hole depth will be 15. The diameter here will be 8.05. Don't you love metric? Kevin, my good friend Kevin Ellingson, if you're watching, one day, mate, you'll see the light and you'll come over to the dark side and over to the metric system. For those of you that don't know, Kevin runs a channel called Mechanical Advantage, and he'll be helping us with this project doing the cam, and then it will come back to me, and we'll collaborate on this video, and I'll CNC machine it. Okay, guys, so I'm pretty happy with that. And boom, there we have it. And you can see here, but what's missing? If you look here, I need this threaded hole here. This is where my threaded shaft will come through and actually push on the sliding jaw and shut it. Just so you can see that. If I expand this, guys, and just go animate joint here, you can see that that's how I want that part to interact with myself or in my project. Okay, so back up here, guys. Now remember, keep saving along the way. Come back around to this left-hand view and select that face. We want C for circle, and we just want to put a circle right there. D for dimension. This will be 8mm metric thread. Okay, so the pitch is 1.25, so 8 subtract, we can do it, the mass here if you don't want to do it in your head, 1.25, which should be 6.75 actually. Boom, 6.75. Gotta love Fusion. It's fantastic, guys. I'm telling you what. I seem to be how would you say it, an Autodesk Fusion 360 groupie these days. My wife says I've got a boring life, but anyway, I think I'm having a great fun. 42.5, guys, for the center of that hole, and we're going to have about 15mm up from the bottom here, and boom, spot on. E for extrude. I'm going to punch that all the way through. You can type it in the value if you want, but I'm just going to pull it out till it goes -15, and it's a cut. One more time, create a thread, and ISO 8mm, 1.25 pitch. Boom, we've got it here. So that part's now complete. Okay, so watch this, make sure you save it. Now the reason I'm getting you to design this way, creating your components as you go, there is a method behind my madness, guys, I can tell you. Now watch this. If you come up to inspect and click component color cycle, you can also do this by Shift N, you can turn them on and off. All right, how cool is that? Now, look down in your timeline. It will tell you where you started, okay, and it will show you which part is which. Now have a look over here. I didn't do this, and now you can see it's this mess right across here. So thank you, Scott Moyse, for pointing that out. It's very, very handy. And you watch this, if I activate this component, everything is contained within that component. Watch the fixed jaw, activate it, bang. Anytime I want to go back and make changes, makes it so much easier than trying to find your timeline down here and go, where the hell did I, where does this belong? So yeah, thank you, Scott, for showing the error in my ways. Okay, so now that we've got the base and the first fixed jaw completed, we don't have to keep drawing these. We can actually start mirroring them, okay? So what we're going to do is come up here to create, and I'm going to select mirror. Now in objects over here, I'm going to pick components. In objects, I'm going to pick this one here. Mirror plane, I'm just going to select that plane there and click OK. All right, and you can see my new component here. It's a different color, so I'm going to toggle that off. Remember, Shift N to toggle on and off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm just going to turn the light bulb off on those other two to get rid of that. And here's my my other fixed jaw, which will go to the rear of the vise. Now, we don't need this hole in here. So what I can do here, I can click this here and delete it. All right. We now need to, if I show you here, we need to put these little cutouts on here. And so we're going to pick this face here. Zoom in on the side here. And we're going to turn R for rectangle. And come down. We're going to go 3, tab 3, tab enter. From the center here, we're going to do a center line. We just want to make a little V out to there, out, down and back, and put some dimensions on this. So the center line there, I want roughly about 3 millimeters long as well. Oopsie daisy, we'll just edit that again, undo. That'll be 3. We need this one here to be 45 degrees. Enter. And overall degree will be 90 degrees from here. And enter. Alrighty, so now we can extrude cut those all the way through. So we're going to pick this shape here. Bring it back up in here to our isometric view. And we want to go negative, and I believe it's all the way through to 85. We can just check that by coming around, and we're clear. Click OK. Back to our ISO view. Click Save. Now I can turn these lights back on here. You can see that I now have this fixed jaw for the other side done. Now what we can do now is create a mirror of this one, and this will be our sliding jaw. Okay. So to have a look at this here, you see we've got 2 fixed jaws, front and a rear, and the middle sliding jaw. And that's going to be a mirror of this one. And what we're going to have to do is just edit this hole a little bit, and it won't have a thread in it. So here we go. So once again, create, mirror, pick this jaw. I'm going to come around for the mirror plane. I want this face here, and click OK. Click on that face, C for circle, and we're just going to put a C for circle. We're going to snap a circle to the center there, D for dimension, and come up here, and that's going to be a about 6 millimeter hole. And now we're going to use the center hole. So now we need to center that hole in its location. So from here, and that will be 42.5. And to place it in the center as well, that will be 15. Oh yes, it's picked at the center, so okay. E for extrude. We want this one here. And we're just going to go down in here for a second. And click OK. And there we have it, guys. So we just make sure that we haven't gone all the way through here. And I think I have accidentally cut all the way through. Let's turn a couple of these off here just to make sure. and just view onto this front window here. No, it's pretty safe. I can say now, if you wanted to check that, what you could do is come from here and let's turn on wireframe. So visual with hidden, and you can see here that I'm quite away from that. So that's not too bad. Alrighty, so let's guys, so let's turn the wireframe back off now, and we'll go back to visual style shaded with visible edges. Okay, so we've fixed up our viewing. Now we can see everything here. If I want to toggle back on my components a different color, we can keep an eye on that. So we need to create our axles here. Okay, now they're going to be 111 millimeters long. So remember, once again, create a component, and I want it to stay under this design here, and this is going to be called axle. And create a sketch, and I'm going to turn these off just so they don't get in my way. C for circle. It's going to be 8 millimeter. Tab enter. E for extrude. 111. Enter. Click this front face. C for circle. And that's going to be a 6 mil tapped hole, so that'll be 5. E for extrude, and they'll go in -15. And you want one of those on the other side as well. Five. E for extrude. And there would have been an easy way to do that. I should have done it like that. Okay, so we're going to thread those now. Pick this one here, and metric M6 by 1 mil. Come around to the other side, hold my control key, and that will be the same. Click OK. So we need 2 of these axles. Before we do that though, let's just rename a couple of these. Okay, so we've got our base plate. A front fixed jaw. This one is our rear fixed jaw, and this one here is our sliding jaw. This will be axle 1. Okay, to create a copy of this axle, we've got to deselect it. So we'll just go up to the top level here and select that. Now I can come down here and go move copy. Component, you want to make sure we're picking this here, create a copy, and we're just going to pull it away, click OK, and you'll see it come up here now as axle 1 and 2. Alrighty, so let's start assembling this. Now the best way to do this is turn on the front fixed jaw first. Okay, click joint. I'm going to orientate this around, and I want to get my coins coming up here, and I'm going to pick this front piece here. Now, for component 2, we need to turn the base on, come back to my ISO view. I'm going to turn off my fixed jaw so I can see it. Here's my coins. They want to snap. Hold the control key. We want to snap it there. This will be a rigid joint, and you can see that there, that it's on. We want to now fix this jaw here up this side here, so we're just going to repeat the process. So click joint. We're going to turn this one on. I'm going to turn the base off so I can see it. Orientate around, once again repeating what we've already done. Back up here, I'm going to turn my base plate on, and here's my coin, hold my control key, snap it down. It's going to be a rigid joint. Click OK. Okay, let's turn our axle on now. Let's put our axle in there. So you can see the base is hiding it, so let's turn the base off. Click joint. I'm going to touch this face here. Click joint. Touch this face here, snap it to there. Here's my second one, and I want it to snap not there but there. Boom, there we have it. We're going to snap the other axle in now. Click joint and touch that face, control key, come back out over to our other side. on the face there. If I just let go, I can see it. That's where I want it. Rigid joint as well. Turn my base back on. You can see that now. I can toggle the components on, Shift N. And you can see they're coming in there now. I might just click the save button while we've gone this far. Okay, so we need to put in the sliding jaw now. Click on joint, and we just want to continue here. We're going to touch this face here, hold the control key and pick up on that point, on the center point. Touch our shaft, the axle shaft, and you'll see it snap there now. And this joint needs to be a slider. And we'll click OK. Now, on closer inspection, you can see here that I haven't really put that this V in the correct location. So let's go back and edit that. And if you remember rightly, we would have edited this part here. So we're going to activate that part. Now, if you look down in the timeline, you can see that it's captured that design data down here. So we're going to right click on it and go Edit Profile Sketch. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to turn my other pieces off here just to get them out of the way. And this is what we need to do. So we're going to delete this line here. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to delete that line. And now I'm going to put a dimension constraint from that point here. And I'm going to just pull it up to 12.5. Then I'm going to accept it. And now when I turn it back on, and if I click at the top level here, you can see now that it's lifted that V up. Now, because I edited this part here, and this part here was a mirror, you can see it's reflected in both of those now. If we wanted to double check that, we could actually click on that joint and pull that in. And you can see they marry up together quite well, so that's fine. Put that back to the 0 position and escape. Okay, so what you can do now, I'm going to drop this handle here that I made earlier. So there's 3 parts that you can import into this, and I'll leave these URLs in the description area of this video. So the handle, so what you'll do here, you'll download it, and what you'll do in your folder, you'll have to go upload, select file, and go to your downloads and then upload them into your project folder. And what you'll be able to do then, once you upload them into your project folder, you can insert them into your current design. So insert into current design. And if we just wait a second, we'll pull it down from the cloud and we'll stick it in there. There we have it there, and we can orientate that ready to be assembled. And I've already downloaded the McMaster car bolts here as well, so you can insert them into your current design. And what you'll want to do then is, using those joints that I've shown you, finish assembling your vise, okay, to make it look like the one that I've done here. Let me just rotate this quickly to 180. And here's the completed vise. You see that I've put all the hardware in and I've put the handle. But there's one thing we haven't done yet, and this is this little 3mm hole that goes all the way down in here. Okay, so let's do that now really quickly. All right, so it's this part here we need to adjust. It's the sliding jaw. So we're going to turn that on, and only that design history comes up down here, which is fantastic. All right, so it's a great way to do it now. I'm just going to turn these off so you don't get confused. Top view. I'm going to click that face, C for circle, orientate this around so we can see it. And it's going to be a 3mm circle. Okay, and then it's going to, we've got to make sure that we've got it from here to there. That should only be 5mm. And it has to be in the center as well. And I'm pretty sure that that's, it's 85, so 85 divided by 2 in the center. E for extrude. Up in the orientation, we're going to click that face, we're going to pull it down, and if we just go around to the side here, we can actually see it drop in to the cavity that we want. And you can see it here, it's cleared it, so I'm going to OK that. So that was a -10 extrude. And back in here now, back to my isometric view, turn all my parts on, and click on that top level there. And you can see now that when you build this vise yourself, you'll have a grub screw that will go down in there and that will lock that in. So for a grub screw to fit in there, guys, remember, if you can tell here, I actually need to put a thread in there. So let's just amend that really quickly. From here, create thread. I'm going to click that hole, and it's going to be 3mm ISO, boom. And back at the top level. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to leave you at that now. The next video we'll switch over to Kevin's channel, Mechanical Advantage, and Kevin will show you how we're going to cam these parts. And then we'll flick back to my channel and we'll do some CNC machining. I'll either machine these parts on the Skyfire at home, or I'll go to school and I'll machine them on the Haas. Good on you guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.